Hello, I'm Lawrence Owen, and this is Sportscaster News. As many of you know, the New York Jets safety Jamal Adams wants to get traded, and now it's clear that his preferred destination is the Dallas Cowboys. On Sunday, a fan posted a clip directly asking Adams if he was coming to Dallas. Surprisingly, the two-time Pro Bowl responded to the fan's inquiry. According to ESPN senior insider Adam Schefter, Adams has a preferred list of the 7 teams, which includes the Cowboys. That list includes Ravens, Cowboys, Texans, Chiefs, Eagles, Niners, and Seahawks. Now, before, I had reported that I just did not see how Adams could go to any of those teams just for the simple fact of cap space problems. Either they're in that cap space issue now, or will be within the next couple years when Adams is due his money. Now, it's not surprising Dallas is on the list. After all, the Dallas pursued Adams just before the trade line ended last year. The 24-year-old also knows that he will be welcomed warmly by the organization. Apart from this, Adams was born in Texas, just outside Dallas. Almost all athletes have an affinity for playing for their hometown, or at least the ones near it. Reports reveal that Adams wants to be the highest paid safety in the NFL after churning monster numbers in the last 3 years in the league. Jamal has 273 tackles, 12 sacks, 2 interceptions, 6 forced fumbles at the safety position. To be the highest paid player in his position means that he'll have to earn more than $14.6 million a year. And even though he deserves it, as I said before, the Cowboys' cap space is only around $12 million. And they're still trying to talk negotiations with contracts of Dak Prescott, which reportedly he wants closer to $40 million a year, which, you're looking at it as $28 million above what they have currently available. So whether or not Jamal ends up with the Cowboys is still, up in the air, and the chances are kind of slim. But who knows? There's still a possibility. I mean, there could be renegotiations with some of the contracts that were already done in the past few years. Who knows? Would DeMarcus Lawrence be willing to take a bit of a pay grade decrease in order to add a player like Adams to help him behind him? I mean, Adams was the most blitzed safety in the NFL last year, which obviously helped with his tackle numbers and his sack numbers. And his forced fumbles, because a lot of your forced fumbles come from your sacks. So, I mean, it's possible. Would Dak be willing to take a pay cut to add an extra player? I don't think so. Reason being, he wants to be the highest paid player in the NFL. And he's not willing to take that pay cut just to stay with the team, let alone add to the team. So I don't see how Dak Prescott would be willing to take a pay cut to add someone like that. Would Amari Cooper? I don't know. Zeke? Who knows? What if they have to cut somebody? Maybe Sean Lee ends up leaving. Jerry Jones might be forced to cut an aging player with a high contract in order to sign Jamal Adams. So there is a possibility that Adams does go to the Cowboys, and if he does, that could be quite interesting. In my opinion, I think the Cowboys easily have the best roster overall, star power-wise, depth-wise, all across the board in the NFC East. Yes, definitely over the Redskins, over the Giants, and of course, yes, even over the Eagles, right? And I believe that the Cowboys could actually be better off than all those teams? Could the new head coach there be willing to really fix the situation? Would McCarthy, being an offensive mind with all those weapons on offense, would he be willing to say, you know what? We're going to be able to score points. We have the talent. I mean, we went out and got CeeDee Lamb to go with, Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper. And, obviously we have Zeke Elliott and one of the best offensive lines in football. Would they be willing to do a little negotiating on the team in order to get Adams there just to increase that team even more so? Because even though they can score points, their front seven on that defense is impressive. They need help on the secondary. I mean, they just lost Byron Jones in free agency. Granted, they did pick up somebody in the draft in order to help out that position, but I mean, Jamal Adams is someone special, right? It would definitely help. I mean, he had, I think, 7 or 9 pass breakups last year at the safety position, at the strong safety position. That's impressive. Now, he's not known for interceptions. I think he's had like 1 interception the past 2 years, 1 for each season. But he still gets pass breakups, generally against your running backs and your tight ends. That's who he covers. And, I mean, in the East, you got to do that. I mean, you got AP, you got Saquon Barkley. The Eagles have, I can't remember his name, but he's a really fast, quick running back that likes to catch the ball out of the backfield for Carson Wentz. So, yes, Adams would be a great addition to the Dallas Cowboys. Whether or not the Cowboys can get him, I just don't know. I just don't see a lot of your teams that he named off being able to pick him up. Yes, he wants to go to a team that has playoff chances because he has none there in the Jets. None. Not with the way the organization has looked the last couple years and the direction that many people believe they look like they're heading as of right now. As opposed to Miami of their own division, which looks to be going up. They're trending upward. It looks like the Jets are kind of trending downward. I mean, most of your playoff teams in the NFL right now are kind of tight on cap space. Baltimore and the Chiefs, both of those teams, they got to pay quarterbacks soon. They've got both of them kind of tight on their cap space now, let alone when their quarterback situation comes up. And both of them are going to be looking at least $40-45 million a year. So, some of the other teams, well, we already talked about the Cowboys, the Texans. I don't see him going to the Texans at all. Just because I don't think Bill O'Brien knows how to put a team together properly. Or at least the way he's been doing. I mean, it'd be interesting. He'd be a good addition to the Texans. The Texans could use Jamal Adams. Big time. I just don't know if Bill O'Brien would be willing to go out and grab him. The Eagles could definitely use an Adams. The Niners, again, cap space hit. There's a reason why they don't have DeForest Buckner anymore. They couldn't afford him. And yet, that specifically means they're not going to be able to afford an additional Jamal Adams. The Seahawks, again, really tight. I think they got like $2 million in cap space this year. Don't know if they'll be able to get him. They'd have to drop some people or renegotiate. And I don't know if that's something that the Seahawks can do. So, I mean, out of all these teams, the Texans are his best bet. And that's if Bill O'Brien would be willing to go get him. And he'd make all these teams better, except for maybe the Niners. The only reason, the Niners, I don't think he'd make better for the simple fact that they got an impressive front seven. And they got a pretty decent secondary. And, I mean, he'd make them better, but would he make them that much better that it'd be worth spending $15 million a year on for such a small incremental increase in that? I just don't know. I just don't know. You're still here? Awesome! Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoy it, please smash that like button and hit subscribe. That way, you're known when I come up with a new video here on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I plan on going live starting this Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Conversations, man. You want to know what we're going to have that conversations for? Right down here where it says Twitter. Type that into your web browser. Give me a follow. Everything that I talk about, anything that I am getting ready to post, any kind of video that I'm getting ready to stream or upload, you'll find out when I type that right out there on Twitter, man. Don't forget sportscaster.com. That's my actual job. That's where I work, right? I am Sportscaster NFL News. Me, Joe Nubo, Ray Rout, we discuss all sorts of stuff NFL news related every day. So don't forget, I appreciate you watching me here, but you can get a lot more information in these little links here. Don't forget, check out the description below, because at the very bottom of that description is where you can support my channel and help ensure that my content continues to be uploaded and broadcasted to you so that you know exactly what's going on in the NFL. Now let's get back to the video.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.